Hello, we're in Malta. We're doing a pair of mirrors. The mirror market is very, very, very difficult for the novice, for the layman. The problem with mirrors is they use resin, they use plastic, they use plaster, they use kits which combine of both wood and resin. They use fillers, they use spray paint finishes, they use all sorts of techniques to make these mirrors look good, and the cheaper they can make them, the more they're going to sell. So you have to be very careful when you're buying gold mirrors or gilt mirrors. And the first thing you have to do with these mirrors is show you what it's made of. And unfortunately, this is going to appear very brutal, and I'm going to actually cut the frame. I'm going to take a Stanley knife. I'm going to cut a slice, and that looks like vandalism. That's timber. That's not plastic, and in fact you can smell the pine. What I don't want to have are resin mirrors, and I'm afraid even I can't tell the difference unless I get behind the mirror and have a very good dig around. So these are a French shape. This is a French shape. You can imagine that's the shape of the back of a French chair. You can imagine it on a panelling in a French house. They're not. I don't think they're made in France. I think they're made in Florence for the mirror market in Florence. But this is French. This is Rococo. This is a design from 1700, maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later. It's a French pedigree, probably made in Italy. There's two. They have this lovely feature where they stand up. Sometimes you see picture frames with a leg on the back and they stand up. You see dressing table mirrors made of silver with this type of thing. So they're not made to stand up, they're made to hang, and they are 1950. They are a 1950s version of an early mirror, but they're carved wood. The whole thing is carved wood, not plastic, not gesso, not synthetic. The finish, I think, is a gold paint. I don't think it is shiny enough or fine enough to be a gold leaf. It could be a gold leaf or a simulated gold leaf. I think it's a gold paint on a red base, a red bowl, and it's rubbed through to create this antique feel. Not too small, beautiful things. They're for hanging. This is the original backing. There's no other holes here where other hooks have been. That's a 1950s hook. It's a modern hook. It could be 1920s, I suppose. I think it's going to be 1950s when it comes to the crunch. So we've established that it's 20th century. This is a plywood backing. I believe it's the original backing. The glass is a modern glass. The glass is not beveled, so it's not the very, very best. To bevel that would be very expensive, and you'd have to get many to get it right. Many would break. They're not going to bother with the beveling. You would expect them to, but if it was beveled, it would be nicer. There's two mirrors. It's carved wood. The whole thing is carved wood. They're not damaged. In essence, the fronts aren't damaged. Easy to shape them. Carved flowers, beautiful tops. Now, I will just point out one other deficiency. They're not an opposing pair. Just notice that the carvings are facing the same way. So it's two of the same item. If this crest was facing the other way, with this scallop on this side and the basket of flowers on the other side, it would be a true pair. It's not a true pair, it doesn't matter. I notice it, people notice it. 99% of people won't even notice it. It's a pair of mirrors, not an opposing pair. Better than average because they're not plastic, they're not resin. Thanks for having a look.